Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another BenchWire podcast, episode 21. The show must go on. We're going to be recapping the Super Bowl. Eagles, Chiefs. It was a fun game. It was like 2 weeks ago now. Feels like forever ago. We had to compress after that game and just, realize what just went down.
Don't lie to them. It wasn't we.
All right, yeah. Matthew's a little depressed right now. The Eagles lost the Super Bowl. We all know that.
I'm not even depressed. I'm just trying to move on.
He's trying to move on. The show must go on. So we're here talking about the Super Bowl. Little recap. Final score was 38-35. Kansas City wins the Super Bowl.
I believe it's the Eagles put up.
The Eagles put up the most points for a losing team in the Super Bowl. So they had some history.
2 points more than Tom Brady is against us. 33.
33. So the Patriots had
500 yards passing.
Yes. The Eagles and the Chiefs. So do you want to talk about your opinion on the game? You want me to talk how I feel about the game?
I feel like it's like that interview where it's like if I say what I want to say, I'm going to get in trouble.
Okay. So you want me to say what I want to say?
No, I mean I'll touch on it.
All right, talk about how you feel about the Eagles and their performance overall.
Well, the Eagles' performance overall was 50-50, but it was split on the side of the offense and the defense. The defense played piss poor. The offense played amazing.
You can say the same about the Chiefs, though.
I'm saying for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd say for the Eagles, their defense was playing awful, and then they pulled it together. They made some adjustments. Jonathan Gannon did not make adjustments. Howie Roseman actually left him in Arizona after the game. Said, "You're not coming home with us. You have an interview with the Cardinals tomorrow."
That's going to be a fun experiment in Arizona.
Yeah, I think Gannon will be a fine coach. I just don't think he should be calling the plays. I think he's a good players person. Like, the players loved him. It's just guys like, Fletch and Slay, they spoke out throughout the season like, we need to make adjustments. Like, we're not really, I don't know. Or like, Slay kind of said something, I believe, along the lines of like, we have the personnel to play man. We're playing so much soft zone. It just doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know how to talk about it because I kind of tried to forget the game.
Let's talk about your quarterback.
Well, yeah, Jalen was fantastic.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he was amazing. 4 total touchdowns, passed for 300 yards, ran for 70. Miles Sanders was very upset with him. Didn't do what I expected him to do.
Well, it's more the Chiefs, though, shutting down the run game, I would think. I wouldn't say it was his fault.
Well, it wasn't his fault, but he definitely, if you rewatch some of the stuff, I mean, I've said this since day one. Miles Sanders is a great person, and he's a good player. But when you have our offensive line, you need to be doing more than that. Specifically, I feel like we create a lot of different holes for him to choose from to try to go up the field and use his explosiveness. And I feel like his vision is really bad. There's times where you cut it to the outside, and there's clearly like an inside lane, and he hesitates. And then it lets the defenders close out and kind of box him out. So he hesitates too much. I think that's the big thing. Confidence is something that I think he either goes into a game with or he lacks it. So it'll be interesting to see where the Eagles go without him.
You say you think they move off of Miles Sanders?
I would move off of him.
Okay.
It's not even that I think they will, and if I was in charge, I would too. I think it's just I look at the draft. I like
comes
Jahmyr
back
Gibbs from Alabama.
Team friendly deal though.
I still wouldn't do it.
Say it's like, would you pay him like $7 million? No.
I think that money could be used elsewhere.
Okay.
Especially with, you also have to look at the history of the Eagles. Never really been the guys that pay a running back. We've tried it 1, 2, 3 times. Hadn't really worked out the way.
Murray.
Hadn't really, worked out the way that we expected it to. So
that team wasn't that great.
Yeah, and also, we have 2 first-round picks this year. Wouldn't be surprised if one of them was used on an offensive lineman of some sort. It's how we do our business here.
That's what you got to do.
The D-line and the O-line, they get drafted every year. They're the priority.
You got to build up the hog mollies.
Yeah, so it's like, why why pay for a running back when you're going to just continue to have an amazing O-line that any running back can run behind? So,
but I wouldn't blame the run game on him. Like, the run game wasn't effective at all for the Eagles that whole Super Bowl, other than Jalen Hurts. But that was based off of scrambles. That wasn't.
Now I'm looking at it, like, I thought Gainwell had a better game.
No, the run game got shut down.
He definitely, he caught the ball and was able to get a few first downs. I think it was 2,
But the Chiefs, they shut down the run, and credit to them, because I didn't think they would be able to do that. But they made Jalen Hurts throw the ball.
And he proved that he could.
Yeah. I would say, that's why I said Jalen Hurts, if he had to throw the ball, I would say the Eagles were going to lose this game. Well, he had to throw the ball, and they did lose the game, but, like,
But it wasn't really what your point was.
Yes.
It kind of proved your point wrong.
Yes.
I mean, let's start like Devontae, 100 yards.
Yep.
A.J. Brown, 96 yards, and that touchdown that A.J. had was really interesting. He sold it as if it was coming short, and the corner bit, and then he just kept going. And
who was that corner again?
I want to say it was L'Jarius Sneed, unless he might have been on Devontae.
I think it was the other guy.
I think
McDuffie, right?
It probably was, yeah. Because I think Sneed was actually on.
Is he a rookie?
What?
McDuffie?
Yeah, from Washington.
Yeah.
I think Devontae was the one that had Sneed. Which I've actually noticed a lot this year, is that a lot of teams have been putting their number one corner on Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
Oh, because he's a route runner.
Maybe it's more like with AJ, it's like he's going to cook us anyways.
Yeah.
You might as well just try to shut down the other guy. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for the offense on the Eagles. Like I said, Jalen Hurts was great. He was the best player on our team that game.
I would agree.
And for it to be the biggest stage, and he did that, he deserves the money he's going to get.
Not $50 million plus. I'm going to keep saying that.
You can keep saying it all you want. At one point, I mean, they're saying that Daniel Jones wants 45.
Well, that's not happening.
Well,
because he has no market for $45 million. He's going to realize that, and he's like, oh, shit, then I'm going to have to go down. We'll talk about that later. But
with Jalen, the fact is, the way I looked at this game is after we moved off of Carson, I thought, okay, I remember when we drafted Jalen, just going back a little bit, I wasn't mad. I was more confused because I did watch college football at the time a little bit, and I knew that Jalen was a guy that I thought could go in the first round and be a team's future quarterback, but I didn't know how good he would be. And I also just, when we drafted him and how he said he wanted to use him like a Taysom Hill, I felt bad because I feel like that's wasting what his potential was, which is clearly this. So when we moved off of Wentz, I was like, okay, we'll see what Hurts has, but we need to, with the way the league is going, we can't just, like a Derek Carr, Tannehill, it's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for our Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, whatever. Yeah. And it looks like we found them, so I'm pretty excited about that. I want to say that,
a little too early yet.
I'm not. You say it's too early. I'm not. No,
he had one good year on his resume. I want to jump on that yet. We've seen quarterbacks like that.
Name.
Cam Newton. He had a great Super Bowl season.
Multiple years.
Yeah, but he had one great year and they didn't do anything else after that.
Cam was also never that good of a thrower like Hurts is right now.
He was until he got that shoulder injury.
Which was what year?
After the Super Bowl.
The one after. Well, yeah, that derailed his career.
Well, yeah. So, you got to calm down.
But that was kind of, just fluky. It just ruined his career.
But, yeah, I wouldn't say the Panthers were as good as the Eagles. But, you get where I'm coming from. I
think a lot of people...
too early yet to jump I think
that
that guy.
When you're saying it's too early, let's make it specific that you're saying that. Because I think a lot would say it's not too early. He is that guy now. I think you're on the side that's there's not too many people on anymore. I think the majority would say he is part of that group now.
I would not.
So
he had a really great Super Bowl. He had a really great year. But the team was really good too. So that's all I'm going to say.
Should have won a Super Bowl if it wasn't for Jonathan Gannon. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Also, both teams had to go through it, but I do want to call out the NFL. Testing a new field is crazy in the biggest stage.
Well, that's Arizona's fault. It's their field.
The NFL allowed it.
Well, they allowed it, but it was Arizona's fault.
But whatever they wanted to do, they wanted to try this new field, every single player on both teams, they were slipping all over. Like,
supposedly Arizona's known for having bad field
not like
conditions.
that.
Because I was watching this podcast with one of the Patriots players, Rob Ninkovich, I think. He was talking about how that every time they played in Arizona, especially during the Super Bowl, like Belichick would say you have to wear these type of cleats for this type of field because the conditions are god-awful, and they hated it. But that's why they won those Super Bowls, or that Super Bowl they played in Arizona. I forget what team it was, but like the other team was slipping too.
I thought that this was specifically the debut of a new turf.
Well, yes, but Arizona's known for having.
So you're saying going into the game, the player should have known. Well, it's slippery to begin with.
Yes,
But
yes.
Belichick all the players on the Eagles. Not all the players. Like Hurts, we saw he slipped early in the game.
They did change cleats though later,
and he changed his cleats,
and then he was fine afterwards.
Yeah, I think the thing that just gets to me about that is yes, both teams went through it.
Mm-hmm.
I think though, if the field conditions were normal, I think our team would have had more of an advantage with the normal turf. Because I think our D-line in general is better at getting pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's too crazy to say, too biased to say.
Well,
so that's the one thing that does.
That's what we all thought.
Well, yeah, and that's why it's like, it's the one thing kind of upsets me. We didn't really get to see our D-line do their thing.
I understand that.
So, again, not making that an excuse. Every single player said it wasn't an excuse.
Yes.
But the fact is, the way I'm going to look at it is like, it sucked. It sucked not to be able to see our defense at their full strength.
I would be pissed too.
Because it wasn't our players holding back, it was the field. So, and then, for the Chiefs, I'm sure that affected a lot as well. Not being able to stop us, get pressure, allowed us to go down the field. But, yeah, we should probably talk about the people that won it, though.
Yeah.
The Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes, your Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Mahomes had a good game. Definitely... when you look at the numbers, it didn't have an insane game, I guess.
Well, they didn't have the ball that much when you look at it.
Yeah, I was going to say...
And they had a defensive touchdown.
The defensive touchdown, that one sucked. I saw people try to say, well, Hurts didn't do that. Listen, the way it happened, you know what I mean? You can't change that. The fact is, he gave the team a chance, even after that. He got the ball back, went right down the field, said, my bad, I'll put us in front again. And he did that. Mm-hmm. He did his job. So, Isaiah Pacheco, I don't know.
Pacheco.
Is it Pacheco?
Yeah, he had a good game.
He had a good game. He for the Chiefs, was one of the main reasons that they were able to continue to get first downs. We, as a D-line, again, I feel like the slippery field had an effect on the edge rushers. I feel like the D-line could have done better. I don't know how much that affects the D-line.
I don't think it does.
I feel like for the interior D-lineman, it's more of you're just going up against somebody. You're not trying to use your speed to go around them.
Yeah.
So I think the D-line in general just didn't have a good game. I have to specify. The interior D-line.
What I don't get is Sue and Linval Joseph was getting more snaps than Jordan Davis. I don't get that.
So, yeah, that's my thing with Gannon as well.
Jordan
after
Davis
the Titans game, when we saw Nakobe Dean, one-hand Derrick Henry to the ground, I expected him to start getting some actual playing time. He proved that he was really good at finding the gaps, getting through there. Jordan Davis, when he played, he looked good. I don't know what Gannon was doing. I think he was trying to lean on his veterans, saying, you've been in this moment before. We need a big stop. It's going to be from you guys.
Yeah, I do get that.
I think maybe he kind of just blocked out the younger guys are more hungry. They're like, let me make a play. And he just kind of went with the guys that are like, oh, yeah, they've been there. The pressure's not too big. I don't know.
But they're old. They're washed. Sue's not the same anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have started Jordan Davis in that situation. But
I will say, as an Eagles fan, going to miss Fletcher Cox. Obviously, a franchise legend. Yes.
So who you think's going to be gone from that D-line? Brandon Graham?
I would re-sign him 1 year, cheap contract. I think he would do it.
So
I think he has one
Fletcher's
more in
gone.
him in general. Huh?
Fletcher's gone.
Yeah.
Who else? Well, Robert Quinn, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back. That was
that was a bad trade.
Genuinely pissed me off. That he
Fourth
didn't
round
do
pick.
anything.
Fourth round pick. Did he have any sacks all year?
No. Not with us.
Damn.
He also didn't play much. He didn't play. So I remember we were just sitting him until the playoffs, and he did nothing.
Well, he did get hurt, though. He did get hurt with the Eagles.
Not in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, in the regular season.
I'm saying we sat him until the playoffs to let him get fully healthy, and he's got playing time. He didn't really do anything. I know he had like a pressure or two.
Well,
but, like,
I would
that's
argue
not,
Son Reddick was better anyway, and Josh Sweat.
Again, it was supposed to be more of just a rotation thing. Like
yeah, but he's
like,
just
I don't know explosiveness every snap.
Maybe that injury hurt him.
I don't know.
Ruined his explosiveness, but he wasn't a factor.
It was a waste. It was an absolute waste. Now I don't remember if we had another fourth.
I don't know.
So,
but yeah, so he's gone. Other key free agents on the defense. So T.J. Edwards,
Kaiser White, and T.J. Edwards, both of our linebackers.
Who do you think you're keeping out of the two?
I don't know if we're keeping any of them.
You're definitely.
I know Nakobe is starting next year.
I think you're keeping one of them. If you had to pick, I would keep TJ. I think TJ is the better overall linebacker.
Again,
in my opinion.
Listen, I know a lot of people like TJ. The stats look good. As somebody who watched it, he didn't play as good as the stats put. Now, that doesn't mean he was bad, right? I'm not saying you're saying he's bad. Fact is, he is kind of it's hard to say because they're a linebacker, right? They're supposed to be big and muscular and all that. He's a little too big, in my opinion. I think
he could cut some weight this off.
That's what I'm like. He needs a little more movement. Feel like he gets kind of ran by a little bit at times. And then I think, I don't know. I like TJ, but I just don't think. I don't know, because especially when you think of Nakobe Dean next year, Nakobe, he could play wherever, outside linebacker, inside linebacker.
Yep.
I think they want to use him as a blitzer because he's pretty good at getting up there in the middle. So with that being said, he would probably be more of an outside linebacker then. So you would keep TJ for that, but who knows? I don't know.
I think you re-sign TJ.
I wouldn't be opposed to re-signing TJ.
This is what I'm thinking. And then Kaiser, he
played fine, but he didn't. Again, another thing with Gannon, just he didn't even give. It just seemed like whoever was on Kelsey being our corners, it wasn't our. I'm pretty sure he was not. It was like Marcus Epps and stuff, and it's like you need a bigger body on Kelsey, and he didn't let Kaiser White get a chance, and I didn't like that because Kaiser White's actually pretty good in coverage, so.
And then
Bradbury, he's gone.
Bradbury, you think
he'll probably
he's
be taking a corner top 10 with
our.
You
think he gets $15 million a year? I think that's what he's gonna ask for. You think
he'll get 15 to 17?
Yeah. Well, Giants aren't paying for that.
We
need a corner.
I think a team that would be interested in something like that because again, he was an All-Pro. You have to look at that stuff.
I say the Bengals take a look at him.
That's
place him with Eli Apple.
I'm thinking something along the lines of that AFC North. I think the Ravens can look at it.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you think you franchise him? You think you reach a long-term deal?
It's probably going to be the conversation with TJ right now is, okay, we're going to talk about the extensions. If we can't come to a conclusion, we are going to franchise tag you.
Yeah.
And then we can talk next year.
Yeah. You said TJ means CJ.
That's what I meant.
CJ, yeah. And talk about the safety.
I don't want to be stupid. Is there a rule where if you franchise tag somebody, you can negotiate with them the next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know why. I'm trying to think of in the past there was some weird rules, I thought.
I believe there's 3 tags. The franchise tag is they have to stay with you and they get paid a set amount.
Yeah, so you would get paid whatever the top 10 in that position.
Yeah.
The average of the top 10.
And then there's a transition tag. So you tag them, they can negotiate with whoever they want to, and then you can match that deal if you want to. If you don't match that deal, they leave.
I didn't know they have that in the NFL. I know the NBA has that.
You get 2 first-round picks in return as compensation. So you could go that route.
2 what?
First-rounders. Yeah. But they don't really use...
I was going to say, why would you use that? Why would it... I don't know. So, yeah.
I think
he's going to end up reaching an extension. It's clear he wants to stay here.
I would hope so.
I think, yeah.
And then, what about Slay? I know he's under contract.
He's going to restructure his contract. He has no reason not to.
Yes.
Again, restructuring, people are always but are they going to accept it? I'm pretty sure it just means they walk home with the money that day.
How old is he now? Because I know he's getting up there.
I want to say 32 now.
Yeah, he's getting up there. I don't know.
This will be his 33-year-old
He's making a lot of money, and say they trade them and then trade him and keep Bradbury, you would be
we wouldn't do that.
Eating up some dead cap. So I don't think that would happen.
No, so Slay's staying. Again, we're taking a corner in the first round next year, whether it is with the 10th pick or the 31st pick. And because there was a pick that was taken away. So I think it was the 30th.
You had the 30th.
Because it was only 31.
Because of the Dolphins scandal.
With Tom Brady.
Yep.
But yeah. That's pretty much what I think with the Eagles.
All right, now let's talk about one more thing. So let's talk about the end of the game. Chiefs are driving. 3rd down and goal.
Oh, the holding?
The holding call. Let me get your perspective on this.
Right,
the fans want to hear it.
So, yeah. It's rough, right? Because
it's 3rd and short. Mahomes throws a ball.
For the way I look at it, it's more of a you have to call it because it is a hold.
It was a hold. It was a blatant hold.
It was a hold. My argument...
The fans aren't liking that.
My argument isn't against the fact that it was called. It was more against the fact of the rule itself, which is if the ball isn't thrown, like, at least near the body of the receiver, because it was real.
That's
it was
only
pretty
for
far.
PI.
I know, but I'm saying that I think that would also should have some sort of effect on it. Like, at least throw it to Juju, and if it gets picked off, it's like, yeah, that's holding.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fact that it was clear that they were not actually going for the first down. At some point they realized, okay, this is the only way we can get this first right now, which is why he's betting on this hold. I don't like that manipulation, trying to get the refs to not bail you out, because again, it is a hold.
It was a hold.
Like, again, if you ask any athlete, they're not going to want to see that. Mm-hmm. The game was so good, you can't.
Well, yeah,
like
the timing of it, you're not going to like it. It was at the end of the game. As an Eagles fan, I agree. The timing of it was awful.
Like, I'm not going to sit here.
But it was
at the time I said it wasn't a hold because obviously my adrenaline's going. I realized deep down we just lost the game from that. I'm like, that's not a hold. That can't be a hold.
Yeah.
But like, listen, a week and a half has passed. It was a hold.
We saw multiple angles from it.
Again, like, it's hard because you have to call it. But again, I just don't if I was the ref. I personally wouldn't call it.
Yeah.
And that's me not being biased either. I would know if I called it, I'd get ripped apart. So it's like, you just let it play. But let him play.
That's his job, and he doesn't look out for that, getting ripped. That's not what he's looking out for as a ref.
Well, I know. But
he's looking for any penalty. And that was a blatant penalty. He called it.
I wouldn't have called it.
Well, I know you wouldn't have called it. But, like, that was a call that needs to be called.
I'm saying non-biased, too. I just don't think at some point, it's kind of like in basketball when you play in the playoffs. It's like, okay, they're letting the players play. I feel like throughout this game, there was a lot of times where both teams could have gotten certain penalties. They didn't get them. At some point, it's like, okay, they're kind of letting them play. It is the Super Bowl. To call it there after what felt like they were letting them play throughout the game, I think that's a little ticky-tack call. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I think it's unfair to the players. Again, Bradbury said he was holding him.
Yes, he was.
The reason he was holding him is because the route was good. He bit.
Juju ran a good route. I know, it's crazy.
He bit on the inside, and then Juju flipped it upfield. And again, it's just it sucks.
It does suck.
That's the way it had to end. I think that even the most biased Chiefs fan would have rather it been an actual first down rather than a flag like that. But they'll take the win.
Yeah, win's a win.
They'll take the win.
It's the Super Bowl.
Kelsey
they don't
had
care
a good
how
game.
they win.
Like we didn't really mention Kelsey.
Let's talk about the Kelsey Bowl, man. Yeah,
No,
Travis Kelsey. He went off in the first half. They kind of neutralized him in the second half.
It did. I think the biggest thing is we couldn't get pressure on Mahomes because again the slipping.
Nah, it was Orlando Brown and company.
I hate.
They got the T-shirts, the zero sacks.
That was one of the stupidest things I've seen because it was just so ignorant.
Got to put on a T-shirt.
I know, but it's so ignorant.
The Eagles would do that too.
They were acting. No, we wouldn't.
The Eagles would so. They got the Batman thing, and they got the skinny Batman.
So I just
fat Batman.
Put it on a shirt.
You would so do that. They did the underdogs on the shirt because they're underdogs. If you had something like that, the Eagles would do that.
I don't know. Whatever.
Jason Kelsey, how did he do? He did pretty good, right?
He played fine.
They only allowed 1 sack. I don't know who allowed it, but that was like...
I think Kelsey could have done better in the running department.
Well, the whole O-line could have done better in the running department.
I think my biggest issue, again, was 2 touchdowns.
Hey, let's talk about Kadarius Toney, man.
No. 2 touchdowns.
We got to talk about him.
2 touchdowns. Both, one being a 5 yards out from the end zone.
The corn dog play.
And then there was one that was 4 yards out from the end zone. Both of them
corners bit.
They were wide open.
Yeah.
And that just cannot happen. See, like the first time, it's like,
Now, do you blame the coach for that? You blame the player? Because I think that's the player's fault. If you can't read that out.
I blame both. And I'll tell you why. Because A, the players, they're the ones out there playing. That's the fact. B, though, it is the Chiefs. They do these trick plays. You could have been more prepared, knowing that if they're doing a trick play,
week to prepare.
But if they're doing, that's why I'm blaming my coach. They had a whole week to prepare for this.
The players did too.
This shit. But the fact is, the Chiefs are known for doing these stupid spin shit.
Oh yeah, the little
ring around the rosy.
Yeah, they were doing it all.
It's just one of those where it's like you expect okay, they're gonna be looking for someone on the outside. That's every single time they do that. I swear it's an outside throw.
Yeah,
and
it works.
The players, they didn't know what to do. Gannon,
give credit to Andy Reid.
Didn't prepare the people correctly. A lot of things went bad. A lot of things. I think you could also look at for the Eagles. We need a punter.
Well, you had one. Brett Kern.
He was awful. Brett Kern was awful. Aaron Sipos was awful.
Well, you don't need a punter when your offense is really good.
You know who our last good punter was?
Yeah. Donnie Jones.
Exactly.
Donnie Jones. He had that commercial with Chip Kelly and the Tostitos. I don't know if you know
Donnie Jones, I don't like...
Donnie. Yeah, I know the Eagles punters, man.
I know. I'm pretty sure he retired.
He did retire the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl. So
I would retire too.
It's been 5 years, and we haven't had a punter since.
You still went back to the Super Bowl.
I'm saying.
Did you have Cameron Johnston?
Well, no, I wanted to talk about. He wasn't that good.
He was probably better.
Well, he's better than what we have now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But my biggest issue is okay, we don't have a punter. Our special teams these last few years, they've been really bad.
What I've heard.
We like Kadarius Toney, get a big return.
With their special teams, there was only one defensive starter on your special teams. That can't happen. One defensive starter on your special teams unit. I feel like that's awful. Because all these players are scrubs then.
Is that, and it's also our tight ends and stuff, rather than it being linebacker.
It has to be people that play defense.
Yeah, people that are
tackle and break down.
They're used to having to backstep and all that.
When
our coordinator, our special teams coordinator, is god awful.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if he got fired. I don't think he did, and it concerns me.
Well, because he had a great. Well, they didn't have really great kick your field goal wise. You were fine. Your field goal unit. Well, Jake Elliott.
That should be on. There should be no issues there.
But punt return wise, have you been that bad all year? I don't think so. Punt return wise, that was your worst punt return this season.
I think my biggest issue again is that kind of like what you said. You need more defenders out there.
The fact that you only have one defensive starter.
Guys that are used to having other players' hands put on them.
Yes.
When you put an offensive player out there, they're I'm the one that's supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
I don't know why they would run that unit out there, but whatever.
Yeah, I
was happy for Toney, though, even though it sucked it was for the Chiefs, but he has potential, and when he's healthy, he's electric with the ball. We saw it happen. What was it, 65 yards? The most yards for a punt return in Super Bowl history by Kadarius Toney. That was great. Great stuff. And then he got the touchdown on the drive before. So, credit to him. He only had one catch, and that one catch was the touchdown. He didn't do much that game besides the punt return and touchdown, but 2 impactful plays, and the Chiefs got him for a 3rd-round pick. So, I say they won that trade right now because they got a Super Bowl out of it. But yeah, what else do you want to talk about?
Nothing. I just want this to be over, dude.
What do you mean it'd be over? We got to talk about more stuff here. So, let's talk about your Eagles.
I'll talk about Travis Kelce saying that They're...
You got to fight for the right to party. No?
He was saying that Hurts could have easily won Super Bowl MVP even on the losing team.
Well, yeah. He had a great game. If it wasn't for that turnover and...
It's not just that turnover.
Well, that turnover is a difference.
That's just not how it works.
Well, it's one of the differences.
I know.
It was one of the differences that changed.
You played football. You know that's not how that works.
It's one of the turnovers that was a difference.
Everything
in the game.
adds up.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things that add up to the loss.
But it wasn't the individual. It didn't cost us the game. Other things cost us the game. Letting 2 ring around the rosies get open touchdowns costed us the game.
Well, that was the corn dog. The special corn dog.
No adjustments, felt like Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers. You had a great run. It was a great run. Now, do you think this team could go to the Super Bowl next year? That's what I wanted to talk about. You think this same team... Well, it won't be the same. Do you think your team can make the Super Bowl next year?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're confident?
Yeah. I think the NFC isn't too strong.
You think you can win it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Same team.
I think as we can go as far as Hurts takes us.
Okay. And
the fact is, when you say that you can go as far as your quarterback takes you... having these two really helps.
Well, yeah.
Being A.J. Brown, and, that's the biggest thing is, like, again, you go as far as your quarterback takes you, and for your quarterback to have that success, you're going to need to get the weapons. And we still have an amazing O-line.
You're going to lose some pieces on the O-line. Kelsey might retire.
Well, we have Cam Jurgens.
Salamalo.
Not saying he's Kelsey, but
Salamalo might leave in free agency.
We could take a tackle in the first round.
Okay.
10th overall.
You still got Mailata. Yep. You still got Dickerson.
Yep.
And then Lane Johnson. You still got most of the core.
We're good. We're fine. We're fine.
But it's not. I don't think it's going to be the best.
We also have Jeff Stoutland.
Who's that?
Our O-line coach.
Oh, the coach. Who cares about the coach?
It's Stoutland University. He makes them.
No. The players make themselves. It's them.
No,
they're the all-pros.
He makes them. It's so clear that he makes them. It's actually amazing.
But
I don't know what he teaches.
I don't think the unit will be the same as it was this year. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless,
you're losing
weapons.
You're losing all-pro Jason Kelsey and possibly so.
You know what I'm excited for next year? That we play the Chiefs, we play the Bills. I'm pretty sure we play the Bengals.
You have good teams on the schedule this year.
We're playing those good teams that
finally,
it's going to. Well, it's not finally.
Finally, I want to see competition. See what happens when the Eagles played a good team. See what happens. The Chiefs.
We probably should have won that, which is crazy.
You could have.
I'm saying.
It was there.
I'm saying the fact that... Put your hand down.
I was there.
I'm saying the fact is...
the Lombardi.
We're going against a lot of teams now.
A lot of teams.
That are looked at as the best in the league.
As contenders for the Super Bowl.
And not only is it a good measuring stick to where we're at, but it's also just kind of having that, there's no fear going into the game. Like, okay, we've played a really good quarterback like this before. Like, we've been here, and I think that also played a big part in this game specifically.
You played our defense. What do you mean by that? You played a good quarterback like this before.
I think when you go against the Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, when we face them again in the playoffs, you could be like, we've been here.
Okay.
We faced...
Because this season, the Eagles did not have
and I think that in going into this game, you can tell yourself all you want. We're a good defense. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is the guy you're going against.
Yes.
And unless you've played him before, it's got to be a scary feeling.
Yeah. Because
you know how crazy he is.
He's amazing.
So I think going against those teams is going to be really nice. I think, a lot of people... They expect us to win the NFC East. I don't know. I think because the Cowboys came in second.
It's very possible.
It is possible, but I'm saying because the Cowboys came in second.
You don't know what the Giants are doing.
I'm not counting the Giants.
We got some pending free agents. You don't know how we're feeling.
I don't know. I mean,
you're not counting us for the division title?
No, it's between us and the Cowboys. Not there just yet.
Not yet.
Especially with it looking like apparently with the odds Saquon is going to the Bears.
The Bears? He's not going to the Bears. Montgomery's staying.
I saw a post. It's his top landing spots, and they have the Bears logo.
Why would he go to the Bears? If Saquon would leave, it would probably be the Bills, the Chiefs. I don't know, a really good team. But I don't think he's leaving. He's staying. We'll talk about that another time. But
There's nothing more to talk about.
There's lots of things to talk about.
Can we end this?
We can't end this. We're having a great time.
Goodbye, guys.
No.
Bro, just end it.
All right, so.
There's nothing to talk about.
There's everything to talk about. So, who do you give credit to on the Chiefs for winning a Super Bowl?
What is that supposed to mean?
Why did the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? Why did they win the Super Bowl? Was it because of the Eagles' mistakes, or is it because of their players?
I think...
Do you give credit to the Chiefs?
Personally...
Or do you give credit to the refs?
I personally believe that this was very much a disaster class from the Eagles.
So you think this is...
I think we shot ourselves in the foot.
The only reason the Chiefs won is because the Eagles...
Couldn't get the...
We couldn't... full recipe together and winning again.
Yes. I think the game plan was there offensively.
Oh, it was there.
I think defensively the game plan was clearly not there.
Oh, yeah. Well, same for the Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs, they stopped the run game, but they had no answer for the pass game.
When you go into halftime with the lead that we had, you expect, 1 to 2 more touchdowns. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a single stop, I'm pretty sure, in the second half. Every time they got the ball, they went down and they scored.
They did.
So that can't happen.
Andy Reid at halftime.
This is the NFL.
Unstoppable.
This is the NFL. Well, apparently Andy Reid told his players he would beat them if they went out to try to see Rihanna.
Oh yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to put your foot down. But
no, that has nothing to do with it. But I just thought that was funny when I heard that.
It was funny.
But yeah, I mean.
And now we also got another thing to talk about. So who do you think the Eagles OC is going to be? And who do you think the Eagles DC is going to be? Because now Shane Steichen, he's off in Indianapolis, and you got Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. So now there's 2 major holes you got to fill in that staff.
Well, we already filled our offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Who would that be?
Our quarterback coach.
What's his name? Enlighten me, because I don't know. The fans want to know.
I'm not going to butcher it because I would feel bad.
Yeah, you can't feel bad for quarterback coach of the Eagles.
Yeah, I think it is not Shane Steichen anymore. Let's see. 2 more candidates. Yeah, defense.
You looked up offensive coordinator, not quarterback coach. That's why.
You're right.
I am right. Brian Johnson? Is that correct? Brian Johnson, quarterback coach.
Yeah, because this is what I saw. So I don't know if it's probably not official yet, but multiple insiders for the NFL are saying that Brian Johnson, our quarterback coach, the one that has been working with Jalen in the offseason to help him make the jump he has, they're confident in his abilities to call the offense, especially with him knowing the strengths now of Hurts.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be a good move. I've seen his interviews. He seems like a really down-to-earth person. I think the players would love him. And
he did have a really good season with Hurts.
He did. He was able to help him.
Was this his first year as quarterback coach?
I thought he was here last year as well.
Last year he didn't make him look good.
Hurts didn't look bad last year.
He didn't look... Well, yeah, he got into the playoffs. But he wasn't like Jalen Hurts we see him as today, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2021 to present, so last year.
All right, so yeah,
he was there last year.
He's been the quarterback coach for 2 years. You think he's the prime candidate for offensive coordinator? Any other guys you would want?
Personally, no. I think for offensive coordinator specifically, I'd like to keep it in-house. I think that I don't want to bring in a guy that hadn't really seen what Shane Steichen did. I love Shane Steichen. He had his ups and downs. I thought there were times where, he'd do too many screens or whatever, killed a drive, but I mean, that's the risk you take, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shane Steichen, I see a lot of Colts fans, upset with it. They're going to love him. He's going to be a good head coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, they just got to find the right quarterback for the Colts. I don't know.
No, I would also say that, considering they got rid of Frank Reich,
and he found a job immediately.
But they just get another one of our coordinators? Wouldn't you think that they would want to go in a different direction? The last Eagles offensive coordinator didn't work out. I thought it was whatever. But yeah, I think Brian Johnson is nice. As for defensive coordinator, I don't know. I saw a lot of reports saying that they were looking at our DB coach. I believe his name is. Let's see. Yeah, Denard Wilson.
I didn't hear much from him.
I thought with Denard Wilson, well, it was more rumors from the inside, like John Clark, that type of thing.
John Clark, okay.
Like our Eagles insiders.
NBC reporter, yep.
They said that they looked at him. At first, I was like okay.
He could possibly.
But then, like, my biggest thing was like, okay.
I don't know if he's ready, though.
The thing that gave me hope was, okay, he worked with these guys in the secondary. Maybe he would have more trust in them to play man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, again, I think for our defense, getting a nice, fresh guy, fresh brain coming in, I think that would be really, really nice.
Would you take a guy like Vance Joseph?
Personally, no.
No.
I've seen...
He's had success, though.
I know he had success, but the fact is... Watched a little bit of the Hard Knocks now for Arizona. It didn't look too good out there.
Yeah, that is... well, I don't think Arizona's players...
They didn't have the best players, but they also... I just think in general, they got cooked a lot.
They did.
Even, it just felt like everything went wrong.
That could have been Cliff Kingsbury, too, though.
I am personally looking more at the college level.
Okay.
Come here. Guys who have had NFL experience, went to college, they're ready to come back into the league.
Doesn't Nick Sirianni know the guy from Michigan?
I do believe he does, and I believe that they are talking to him.
Yeah, I've heard that report.
I would be more than happy with that.
Well, yeah, because that guy has experience in the college level, and he's already at DC. So,
yep.
And I think he knew him
college
on
football
his
playoffs didn't look too nice.
He knew him in his Charger days, right?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was like a DB coach.
He was.
He was an assistant coach pretty much.
Yeah.
But, I would be more than happy giving him a chance to.
Yeah.
Just need some fresh opinions. I mean, that's the thing with Sirianni that I like, is that he's realizing, okay, offensively, we were fine. Like, we were really good this year offensively. So I don't think we need to get a fresh guy and get some new opinions. Like, what we had worked. Mm-hmm. Defensively.
You just need a guy to call plays.
Although I was really, really confused with the report that we offered Gannon more money than he would make as the head coach of the Cardinals to stay with us.
I did not hear that. Where'd you hear that from?
I saw... Let's just confirm this.
That's crazy if that's the case. Because, I would have stayed with the Eagles.
The 40-year-old said... Oh, sorry. Gannon said it.
Gannon himself is the source.
The Eagles offered him more money to remain as their defensive coordinator than he's poised to earn in Arizona, but his desire to become a head coach and working with Kyler Murray in the front office was the deciding factor.
Well, maybe...
I personally don't know what they saw in Gannon defensively. Now, that's not to say, yes, we had 70 sacks this year. We had, our
you
defense
had
was
a
good.
historical defense.
Yes. The fact is, we faced a really good quarterback. We got torn apart. I don't understand the whole I would have offered to bring him back because of how good the defense was, and okay, we got killed by Mahomes. We didn't even get killed by Mahomes, but we couldn't stop him in the second half.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay, we'll give him. Okay, that was the first time he's played one of these really good quarterbacks. He's played him now. We'll see how he changes it. But to offer him more than he would make as a head coach is crazy.
Yeah, well, I guess he wanted to change of scenery, and he wanted his own little project.
He wants to stay in Arizona?
Yeah, maybe he has family near that area. I don't know his full backstory.
I just thought it was funny.
That's very intriguing, because I didn't know that.
I thought the story of Gannon not knowing that he had an interview with the Cardinals until after the Super Bowl was funny, because it was legitimately how he's saying, you're staying here.
Yeah.
And interviewing with them because they want to interview you.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy. I did not know that. But
again, like I said, Gannon, wishing him the best. He was a great person. The interviews, I loved him. He was such a good dude.
Yeah. You see that video of him walking to Kyler and that other player? It was just so weird. So
I saw the one where they were coming up with the Niners. When we were playing the Niners, he rolled down his car window and said,
that was
gut these guys.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But there was just a weird interaction he had with one of the Cardinals players, and it kind of reminded me of Adam Gase. A little bit.
No, I saw the one with Kyler. That one was normal.
Yeah, that one. There was a different player then. I don't know who it was, but
Probably because he doesn't know the player.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like Kyler Murray, you don't know him personally, but you know who Kyler Murray is.
I'll give him a little grace period and let him get ready with Arizona.
He'll learn that. He'll earn that locker room.
But yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with them.
That, just a little more than what? It was like a year ago? A little more than a year ago was the interview with Nick Sirianni's opening interview.
Yeah.
The media ripped him apart. Said, this guy, he's not a head coach. He ain't, whatever. Hey, we put a good roster around him. He accomplished his job, which was get that team to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And now he has 2 coordinators that are both now head coaches. So, round of applause for Nick Sirianni.
I'm not giving a round of applause.
One of the best head coaches in the NFL.
I don't think he's that good.
Apparently, A.J. Brown said that he gave them a lecture about dog shit.
Yes, I did hear about that.
That was amazing.
Justin told me about that today. It was funny.
Yeah. A.J. was it was hard not to die laughing during it. He's like, I understood the message. Trust me, I got the message.
Yes.
He's like, the message was there. It was a good message.
He's really weird, Sirianni. I don't know.
But the way that Sirianni does things, he treats them like they're preschoolers.
Yeah.
But it's not in a disrespectful way. It's more of just keeping it
real and loose and goosey.
Keeping it loose, yeah.
Yeah.
Not getting on them, letting them, understand that, listen, you guys got to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I love Nick Sirianni. I think he fits Philly perfectly. But, yeah, enough of football.
Enough of football?
Phillies are back, bro.
The Phillies are coming back.
We have a full season with Philly Rob.
Yes, we do.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Spring training this weekend, televised.
Spring training.
First games are televised.
What day?
Saturday.
I'll be watching
the Sixers.
At
1 o'clock.
I won't
be watching the Sixers. The Sixers game is at 8:30. My weekend's about to be lit, dude.
Your weekend's
ready?
My weekend's gonna be
I put it on Twitter, bro. It's 1:05. I have the Phillies doubleheader. 2:30. I have Liverpool in the Prem. At 7:30, I have the Union.
He's ready with
8:30, I got the Sixers. Bro, it's gonna be all banging Saturday, dude.
Banging Saturday. Well, I guess we can end the podcast.
Thank God. All right, end this. We'll see you guys 2 weeks from now. We're gonna take a little break again.
No. Listen. So, on our next podcast, whenever it is, we're going to be talking about free agency and where we think the new free agents will be landing, what their destination is. We'll be talking about that. Maybe some draft prospects, some draft stories. We'll get into it. We got a great offseason ahead. It's going to be fun. If you guys want to see more content, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you're following all our socials. And... What else?
Nothing. We'll see you guys next
time.
BenchWire.
No, not yet. But it's going to be a great offseason. And the show must go on. New offseason, mock drafts, free agency. It's going to be fun. And I'll catch you guys later. Matt, you ready? BenchWire.
Out.